Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Football Betting Podcast. This is your home for tips, insight, and discussion to inform your weekly accumulators. I'm your host, Tom Pipkin, and I'm joined as ever by my co-host, Tom Walker.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the show, new listeners and old. Great to be back with an EFL special. The Premier League takes a little bit of a break to allow for resting of legs and internationals and a few other bits and bobs.
Yep. So we've got pretty much a full fixture list across the Champ, League One, League Two. So still plenty for us to look at today. We are, as ever, sponsored on this show by our friends at matchbook.com. And you can go to Matchbook and use the sign-up code TFB Podcast and get yourself a £20 money back as cash sign-up offer, which we'll go into in a bit more detail later on in the show. Quick recap on last week, Tom. I feel like we kind of half won in terms of our bomb-proof treble at the end of the show because we picked what? Rotherham, Wigan, and Forest Green.
Forest Green, yeah.
The only thing is we went for Rotherham and over 2.5 to boost the odds, and that backfired.
Got greedy, didn't we?
We got greedy. Yeah,
we got greedy. Managed to pick out three relatively comfortable winners. Wigan were a bit ropey in the second half, but still. And Rotherham managed to get a 1-0. By all accounts, it was a relatively comfortable 1-0. They just didn't have enough to get those extra goals that we needed. So picked three winners and didn't win any profit. So that doesn't happen that often, to be honest.
Yeah, so that was a frustrating one, but hopefully, we'll go one better this weekend. But yeah, so we'll crack on with the Champ. Everything we're going to read out is taken from Matchbook in terms of the odds. We're going to do decimals as usual, and we'll get kicked off, I think, with the first game that is right in front of me on the list. It's Barnsley at home to Bournemouth, and I think Bournemouth will win this game. The price at 1.79. I fully appreciate that Bournemouth have been pretty inconsistent for a team that's right near the top of the league recently. Not the most trustworthy, but Barnsley are absolutely terrible. I went to the Forest-Barnsley match, as you know, in midweek. Forest won 3-0, and Barnsley were comfortably the worst team I've seen for a long time. They were so bad, so bad. They've got COVID problems, which hasn't helped them, to be fair. The manager wasn't there because he's also had COVID. So those COVID problems will undoubtedly spill into this game this weekend. They're a team, bottom of the league, shot on confidence. The fans, the team sheets go out and the fans are like just, accepting defeat before the games are even played at the moment. And yeah, the players look exactly the same way. So for me, I think Bournemouth will win this one relatively comfortably because Barnsley are just going straight for the trapdoor into League One because they're so poor, so poor. And I can't stress that enough how bad they are.
I mean, obviously, I watched the game that you went to live online, and echo your point. But I wrote down here that Barnsley, I can't remember a team that bad, and it's not even just the Forest game, just because we've watched them, but one win in 25. Like, they are abysmal, like a mid-table at best, League One at best. I'd say maybe lower reaches. They've scored 17 all season, 0.65 goals a game. If they concede, their average goals for says that they won't get a draw.
Yeah.
Right? Like 0.65 goals a game they score. Like, so if they concede, the game is pretty much over. And Bournemouth, as you said, not firing, but second best away record in the league. Not bad.
No, definitely. Who do you like the look of?
I think I'm going to go for a bit of a both teams to score action here. So I've got two things wrote down. I think both teams to score 1.91 between Luton and Blackburn is a good shout. I think you might be able to get over 2.5 at 2.2, but I'm not sure it's worth the risk for the extra little pieces of profit there. It's fifth against second in terms of goal scoring charts. So you've got the fifth best in the league in Luton and the second best in Blackburn. And then I kind of went through the last 6 games, which I like to do as a sample size, and then had a look at how many goals, each team has scored and conceded on average. So Luton have scored 2 per game on average in the last 6, and they've conceded 1 per game on average in their last 6, so an average score of 2-1. So the Blackburn bit is not as strong, which is why I'm leaning more towards both teams to score rather than over 2.5. Blackburn have scored 1 and conceded 1 per game on average in their last 6. So their average score would be 1-1. So that would obviously, be good enough for both teams to score. I'm not 100% sold on the over 2.5 just because of that exact reason. But, if any team, if I'm confident anyone can do it, it would be Blackburn. They're just going through a little bit of a slower patch at the moment. They've still got Brereton Diaz. Looks like he's going to be committing his future for the rest of the season, at least, at Ewood Park. So, yeah, when there's Diaz, there's hope.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I like the look of Preston at home to Bristol City. Preston on the nose are 1.9, but I'm going to squeeze it a little bit more. Preston to score over 1.5 goals, 2.08. I go for that. They're on a fairly decent run of form since Ryan Lowe's come into the club, beat West Brom, last night? I think it was on Wednesday night, 2-0 at the Hawthorn. So that was another good result for them. I think on the road, Bristol City are so poor at the moment. In the last 8 consecutive games away in the league, they've conceded at least 2 goals. So that's why I think, again, we're going to go for Preston here to score over 1.5 at 2.08. Again, that relies on Bristol City continuing that trend and conceding 2 goals again. But, judging on the form that they're in away from home, I can certainly see it. They've not won any of their last 7 games away from home, losing 6. And, I'm just looking at the list of away games. Conceded 6 against Fulham. They've lost to Sheffield United away, to Coventry, to Birmingham, to West Brom 3-0. So they're in some bad form. And I think Preston in their decent form can get a couple of goals and continue the trend and bring home a good bet above evens, I think.
Yeah, I think Bristol City have kind of taken the handbrake off recently. And they've gone a little bit gung-ho. I think they're in that sweet spot where they're not going to go down and there's no pressure to, cement a playoff spot. So they're kind of going a bit gung-ho and, yeah, they're leaving themselves wildly exposed, which is great news for you.
Absolutely.
I think we've got to flag up Fulham, but I'm not happy with the price. I'm sorry, Matchbook. Well, not Matchbook, the punters on Matchbook. 1.33 they're priced at home to Blackpool. I wouldn't be surprised if they won this, but Mitrovic is doubtful, and Blackpool are a good side despite not winning in their last 5. Their goal scoring is unsustainable, and they are going to come unstuck one day. Maybe it'll be against Blackpool, who I have a lot of confidence in a lot of games. Whenever I see a team playing against Blackpool, I normally think twice before going against the Tangerines. So I think 1.33 is very, very short. But, I would look back at this at 5 o'clock or whatever and probably see a 2-0 win for Fulham. I'm just not confident enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Agreed. QPR then, they're at home to Reading. 1.57 is the price for QPR. I think, up against this Reading side, who are in woeful form. They're in 21st in the league, just above the relegation zone by 2 points. Peterborough have also got a game in hand on them as well. They've lost 5 in a row. They've not won in 8. They've not kept a clean sheet for 16 consecutive games. So there's some pretty torrid stats there on Reading's half. And QPR, no lost in 6. They've won 4 in a row. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I look at the league table, and I know QPR have had a good season, but they're what, 4 points off of the automatic promotion places with a game in hand? And I think, geez, they're actually doing a lot better than I give them credit for. I feel like we've not really backed QPR an awful lot this season on the pod. They've not been a regular fixture, I don't think. They've been tipping out week after week, but they've certainly been doing something right, because they're bang up there with a shout of automatic promotion. Whether I think they'll
Yeah,
actually get it is another question. They're a
yeah,
team that
but
I'm
they're in
expecting to
there.
fade, but they're not. To be fair to them.
Yeah, I personally think they're probably nailed on for a playoff spot now as we sit. Whether they can go any further, not 100% sure. And yeah, Reading, I'm with you. I think one thing I will flag up with Reading is we've got to be a bit careful as the games come along now, because they've been absolutely decimated by injuries. Lucas Joao is back. Swift is back. Remember, Swift was linked with Premier League moves. He was, absolutely on fire at the start of the season. Rinamoto's on his way. Holmes is on his way. They're pretty much piecing back together that decent mid-table team that they do have. Not all of them are back yet, so we can still keep kicking them in the nuts whilst they're down. But yeah, we got to be a bit careful as the games go on.
Yeah, that's a fair
Middlesbrough.
point.
Speaking of playoff chasing, promotion chasing, Middlesbrough Coventry. I'm going to back Borough at home 2.1. Borough have been really good at home under Wilder. They've won 4 games in a row, and they're actually unbeaten against Coventry in 11 games at the Riverside. That goes all the way back to the 90s. So traditionally a tough place for the Sky Blues to go. The 4 teams that they've beat in a row: Bournemouth, Forest, Swansea and Reading. So you can definitely say that Bournemouth and I'd say Forest are better than Coventry. Maybe Swansea and Reading are not. But it just goes to show that Middlesbrough have been putting decent teams away at home. And Coventry have improved. They're back on track, but I'm not sure that they are at Middlesbrough's level. I think Borough have got way too much for Coventry. I respect that Coventry can be dangerous, but yeah, for me, Borough 2.1 is hard to turn down, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Just one more for me, then. I know you agree with this one as well. Comes on Sunday, and it's our own team, the Mighty Reds, Nottingham Forest, away at Cardiff City. It's a great price for Forest, I think, 2.7 to get the win. Cardiff are the worst home side officially in the Championship. They've won 2 of their 12 games at home, losing 9. They've only scored 9 goals in those 12 games as well. So a torrid record at home. Forest, we know, very good away. They've got the 4th best record away from home, much better away typically over the course of the season than at home. Knocking on the door of the playoffs, full of confidence. 4 wins on the bounce. Yeah, 1 point off the playoffs now. So I think the momentum that Forest have got can continue against its poor Cardiff side. Cardiff haven't kept a clean sheet in 26 consecutive games. It's really poor defensively
Horrendous.
for them. Yeah, horrendous stat that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think the form that Forest are in, it's another boost that we're going to be keeping Brennan Johnson by the looks of things, despite Brentford bidding the best part of 20 million for him. A real
Touch wood.
statement of intent, I think. Yeah, touch all the wood.
Yeah.
But it's a real statement of intent, I think, from the management and the hierarchy at Forest to say, we believe in this team and we believe that we've got a fantastic shot, the best shot potentially for the best part of 10 plus years since Billy Davis was in charge of going up this season. So yeah, I think we can continue our upward momentum and get another win. And at 2.7, we're going to gobble that up.
Yeah, Championship price, or maybe overall price of the weekend, I think. Yeah, I don't have too much to add, other than, since Steve Cooper came in, only Fulham have got more points than Forest in his time. And yeah, they have a 100% record so far in 2022, unbeaten all year. So
Woo!
yeah, it's looking like a great price. And also, I think we are still getting Forest as, a maybe team. Like I feel like Forest are priced up as a mid-table team on a really good run, rather than like a promotion contender. Maybe
Yeah.
we are. Maybe we fade away the second half of the season. I don't know, but it doesn't look likely. Forest looking really good. I'm going to jump back to Saturday just quick. I did have one more, and it comes in the shape of Sheffield United. They're away at Peterborough, 2.0, so bang on even money. This is more about Peterborough. They're conceding 2.5 goals a game at the moment over their last 6. Like
That's a
it's
problem.
yeah, it's a huge issue. I keep repeating myself every week. I tell everyone that Peterborough have got the worst defense in the league, but I have to mention that because we've just said that Barnsley are like this unbelievably bad side. Peterborough have conceded miles more goals than Barnsley have. And yeah, they've had some really crushing results recently. 4-1 loss against Coventry at home. They got absolutely papped. A 3-0 loss against West Brom, in which home fans describe Poch's performance as one of the worst ever that they've ever seen at the Hawthorns in their lifetime. Not good. And then they went to try and get their second away win of the season and somehow threw away a 2-0 lead at Birmingham with 6 minutes to go in midweek. Like, it's just not a good place to be at the moment. Fans are starting to question Darren Ferguson, Darren McAntony, obviously someone that me and you like, Tom, but I don't know if I'd want him running my club. I just like looking at him from afar. And yeah, he's coming out on all his channels saying, people are doubting our greatest ever manager. I'd like to see them in the hot seat. It just seems a bit, a bit like a circus at the moment. And Sheffield United have had a wobble, but they feel, to me, a draw at Preston and a win against Luton in their last 2 shows me that there's signs there. So I wouldn't be surprised if 5 o'clock saw Sheffield United won this 2-0.
Yeah, no, not at all. I agree. Darren McAntony has absolute unwavering faith in Darren Ferguson.
Loves him, doesn't he?
I remember him saying on his podcast that he'd rather get rid of the entire squad before he got rid of Ferguson in charge of the club.
And it's like Barry Fry as well. Like Barry Fry was, he was chanting Birmingham City songs with the Birmingham fans. Right, this is Peterborough's director of football when they were playing there the other night. Fans are fuming, right? They're staring at relegation. It's not nice to see your director of football in bed with the enemy, basically. Darren McAntony came out on Twitter. He's a Birmingham legend. Leave him alone. Like, he's very loyal to those that have done well in the past for him. Fair play.
Yeah, very. And I think from a neutral point of view, it's fascinating to listen to it, to the insights that you get.
Yeah.
On the runnings of a football club and the thinkings of a chairman and an owner and whatever. But yeah, certainly if the players are listening to him on social media, on the podcast, then God knows what they're going to be thinking. It can't be great for their morale.
Yeah, I can't imagine, looking around the league and you see managers leaving. Right, let's take Norwich City in the Prem. Right, they're struggling. They get rid of Farker. They bring Smith in. They might still go down, but they do look better for it. And imagine looking at that situation, looking at your own and thinking, our chairman has said he'd rather sell all of us than get rid of the guy in charge and try something new. So then you start thinking, well, he's untouchable. So, and then the mental side of it comes in. You start doubting all this stuff. So yeah, it can't be good. Long story short, Sheffield United, if they're up for it, they should be able to get a win.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, does that wrap up the championship then?
Yeah, if you can tell the profit chasers about an exciting opportunity with Matchbook, that would be absolutely great.
Yeah, so as we touched on at the start of the pod, you can join Matchbook using the sign-up code TFB podcast when you do the registration. What that gets you is a £20 money back as cash offer. So if you deposit £25 into your Matchbook account when you sign up using that code, the first £20 that you spend, you can get money back as cash. And one of the beautiful things that Matchbook have done for us is they put together a pre-made bomb-proof treble that we're going to read out at the end of this show, as we do at the end of every show. And that is going to be industry best priced. So this one we've got this week is a real humding. It's a fantastic price. It's way better than any price from usual sports books, Bet365, Sky Bet, William Hill, whatever. So Matchbook are pricing it up, pricing it up at the best price possible to beat out the competition, and you can bet your £20 money back as cash, free bet essentially, on our bomb-proof treble. So the odds, spoiler alert, the odds this week are 9.4. So you can go sign up to Matchbook with the promo code, bet the £20 risk-free on the bomb-proof treble at odds of 9.4. If it wins, great. You're 180 quid up. If it loses, you get your 20 quid back as cash. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a fantastic opportunity to try out Matchbook. Usually the best priced odds in terms of games in general. So please do check it out and help support the pod.
Yeah, amazing product, amazing people as well. Really enjoy working with Matchbook. League One, Tom. I'm going to get us kicked off with Wigan Athletic. They have a bit of a weird game for me here. I feel like if you look at the stats, so if you go stats alone, Wigan, by the way, away at Cheltenham. If you go stats alone, it's all Wigan. It's all Wigan. But if you read reports, if you trust the eye and the knowledge and opinion of other people, other podcast fans, etc., you'll know that Cheltenham are just getting, they're not getting the rub of the green at the moment. And the fact they haven't won in 10 looks horrendous on the surface. But by all accounts, they're playing pretty well. They're just not getting the win, or that things aren't dropping for them. And Wigan haven't lost in 12 away games. They've won 6 in a row. They're top, level on points with Sunderland, having played 4 less games. They're looking like an absolute juggernaut, to be honest with you. Cheltenham are going to win soon, and it might be this weekend, it might not be. I can't look at the form of these two and not back Wigan, but I just wanted to throw out that little flag that Cheltenham are actually doing a little bit better than the stats tell you.
Yep, no, I like that. That's it's a good pick. I think we're going to win, like you say. But another thing I noticed about Wigan, actually, 9 consecutive league games have been both teams to score. So that might be something else you want to look into, because it's happened a lot recently. Wigan have tended to win the vast majority of those games. That's why they're top with games in hand. But yeah, they're not completely foolproof at the back. They have been shipping the odd goal, but certainly capable of outscoring the opposition, as we've been seeing in recent weeks. For me, one of the things that leapt out off the page for me in League One is a game that's going to be an absolute bore fest, I think. if the stats are anything to go by, we're going to go for under 2.5 goals, which is priced at 1.72 in the game between AFC Wimbledon and Shrewsbury. So AFC Wimbledon, no wins in 8 consecutive games. They've scored 1 goal in 7 consecutive games. So on no sort of goal-scoring form whatsoever. Shrewsbury, on the other hand, they've not won in 4 consecutive games. They've scored 1 goal in 5 league games. So again, two sides extremely, extremely goal shy. And as you'd expect, in AFC Wimbledon's games, 6 out of 6 have been under 2.5. Shrewsbury, 5 out of 6 have been under 2.5. And head-to-head, 4 of the last 5 have also been under 2.5. So here, all stats, all roads point to under 2.5 again. 1.72 is the price.
Okay, if you're a season ticket holder for AFC Wimbledon, or you follow Shrewsbury on the road, just go to B&Q with the missus, or just
go out for a lovely meal or something.
Yeah, just do anything other than watch that. But no, all seriously, Tom, you do your research so the profit chasers don't have to. Absolutely fantastic stuff, that is.
Thank you, sir.
My one is not as thoughtful, and it's a bad price as well. Rotherham, 1.58. They're away at Crewe. It's a really short price, but then again, it is 22nd against 3rd, and again, banging the same drum, so I do apologise to regular listeners. Wherever Rotherham are, no matter the form, no matter who they're playing, I think they can win that game. I don't see any reason, despite Rotherham being a bit wobbly at the moment. And when I say wobbly, like this, they're still winning games, or they're still getting a draw here, there, and everywhere. They're just not completely bulldozing people, which they were around Christmas time. Yeah, this Crew team, is, there's not all that. The 4th of January, these two played each other in the Pizza Cup at Gretzky Road, and Rotherham won 4-2. So maybe that's a little omen. It was only, 2 weeks ago? So a nice repeat of that would be great. 1.58 is a little short, but I do understand why.
Yeah. I had another little addition to this one, actually. You could probably get Rotherham to win and both teams to score. I also looked at both teams to score just on the nose. That's 1.83. 8 consecutive games between these two sides have been both teams to score. Rotherham and Crewe have both only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 7 games as well. So neither of them can defend pretty well at the moment. And historically, there's been goals in this fixture, as you mentioned in the Pizza Cup. High scoring games. So yeah, could be another one in store here.
Anything else for you from League One?
I toyed with Lincoln.
Yeah,
and that's probably about it.
Same. 2.2 they are against Burton at home.
Yeah, and this is mainly not because Burton are particularly bad. They're a decent little outfit, kind of win one, lose one, draw one kind of form. But I'm just impressed with Lincoln's recent victories. They've won 3 of the last 4, with those 3 wins coming against Sunderland, Plymouth, and Oxford. So that's 3 of your top 7 sides in the league. And because of that, if they're beating those sides, you can certainly beat Burton at home if you continue in that strong run of form. And that's where I was going at.
We've been waiting for this. I know they lost Brennan Johnson, Morgan Rogers, and Grant in the summer, and they were huge players for Lincoln, huge players. So I had a feeling they wouldn't be, as playoff finalists. I didn't think so this year, but I thought they'd be around the playoffs for sure. So I have been waiting for this. They've brought in a couple of additions in January, and they've got one of the best managers in the league in Michael Appleton, in my opinion. And yeah, it looks like they have got it together. Is it too late for the playoffs? I'd say yes. But a strong finish to the season might be in store for the Imps.
Yeah, definitely. League 2 then, shall we?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I've only got one, and I know it's your one, so I'm happy to kind of put my feet up here and let you take it away with Mansfield.
No, I've got another one.
Right. Okay. Well, why don't you go first then? Because I've just ruined one of the tips. So after you, maybe the profit chasers will forget by the time I come around.
Well, I haven't got an awful lot to say on this one, to be honest, but Exeter 1.8 at home to Hartlepool. We're jumping back in bed with Exeter after abandoning them for about 6 or 7 weeks. I'm just looking at this game. Exeter, they've won the last 2 games out of 3. They kept 3 clean sheets in a row, including a 0-0 against Forest Green. They're starting to turn around their poor form that they've been on, that saw them drop out of the playoffs. Just on the fringes now, in 8th place. But yeah, I think the last couple of victories that they've had to nil stands them in good stead to get another victory this weekend against Hartlepool, who are the worst away side, as we've covered before. They're the worst away side in League 2. They've won 1 out of their 13 away games so far this season, conceding 25 goals in those 13 games. So just a tiny bit under 2 goals a game on average away from home. So yeah, I think if the classic Hartlepool away form continues, Exeter should get a fairly routine win here.
Long old way as well.
It is.
It's a long way. And I can't imagine Hartlepool travel by private jet. So
Yeah, that's very good point. That is
yeah,
it's a very long way.
long way. Yeah, so let's talk about Mansfield then. They are against Leyton Orient. They're priced at 2.34. And yeah, this is your classic on-form team against your not on-form team.
I've got
Mansfield
to
are
say that have we missed something?
with
Like
what?
why are Mansfield 2.34? Because
I-
that price looks incredible
It's
for what
it's the
you're going
same
to
as
read out.
Forest. Yeah, I
Hey,
know. It's the same as
yeah,
Forest, right? They're getting priced up as this mid-table team on a good run, rather than like a playoff chasing team. Does that make sense?
yeah. But I just see Exeter at 1.8 and then Mansfield at 2.34,
I
when
know. What would
Mansfield
you
are in
rather back?
miles better form, miles
Yeah,
better.
yeah, and Mansfield miles better form. They've shot up to seventh, which if you're not a League Two connoisseur, is a playoff spot. So that's the last playoff spot. So they're in there at the moment under Clough the Magic Dragon, and they have lost one of the last six. They've winning five of them. They've won three in a row. Blah blah blah. They're just absolutely on fire, especially at Field Mill, which is that still the same name, or is it the One Call Community Stadium? I don't know.
One call, I think now.
One Call, yeah.
Showing
Let's
our
go
age again with Field Mill.
Field Mill. And they've got basically on paper the perfect opponents. Leyton Orient, their home record, it is sticky, but it's certainly not amazing. They won one, lost three. They have drew seven. So that is as sticky as it gets, pretty much. So that scares me a bit. But they haven't won any of the last seven on the road, right? So those draws and wins at the start of the season. The last seven, they've just been getting beat and stuff. So yeah, and then Leyton Orient, they haven't won in their last 5 games in all competitions, home or away. So they're kind of all over the place at the moment. And Mansfield, I'd say probably apart from Forest Green, just because I think Forest Green are head and shoulders away the best team in the league. This is probably the second least place you want to go in the
Definitely,
entire division. And so for
definitely.
Mansfield to be priced higher than evens, them and Forest in the treble, you're looking at 2 promotion chasing teams priced as mid-table sides against 2 teams struggling. Might be a good little bet, that.
And a double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't comprehend. If you read it out and I missed it, yeah, apologies. But 10 wins in the last 11 Mansfield games.
Mm.
And I can't, when you've got a team on that run, 2.34, I can't comprehend it, to be honest.
Can't turn it down, can you?
Yeah, can't turn it down. Can't turn it down. And
Yeah.
they'll probably lose, to be honest. You see the form, you see the price is too good. It's going to be too good to be true in it, but
Well,
we're going to go for it anyway.
we're going to get sucked into the
Yeah,
Venus flytrap, aren't we? Yeah.
big time.
Well, that's a good segue. Let's talk about this week's treble then. As you mentioned, highly boosted, like an absolute rocket into the stratosphere of boosting. 9.4 this is. I think we, at the time of recording, Tom, which is late Thursday night, it is, 7.3 with competitors?
I think it's 7.42 with Bet365.
Yeah. So
I can tell you exactly what it is because I'm going to do them all right now. Yeah, you got 7.97 with William Hill, 7.97 again with Betfair, 8.02 with Coral, same with Sky Bear, Ladbrokes 7.95. So yeah, 9.4 for the same treble with Matchbook. You're getting massively, massively better odds here.
yeah, if you have any faith in us and this treble, then the place to be is Matchbook. And remember, you've got the money back as cash offer in your back pocket if you are not yet a customer. So we're going to read this out and kind of whet the appetite for the weekend because we're giving it a right old build-up, to
Yeah,
be
we have.
honest. So we are going to back QPR at home to Reading. We're going to back Mansfield at home to Leyton Orient. And we are going to roll it to Sunday and put it in the hands, hopefully, of Nottingham Forest away at Cardiff. 9.4, tremendous value.
Yeah, definitely. Huge value, huge potential. I think it's three teams in very good form against three teams in terrible form. So
It is.
you know,
It is.
sometimes you can see odds of like 9.4 and be a bit scared by it, thinking it's a bit risky, but
Yeah.
the justification's there, stats are there, so why not?
You'd expect us for 9.4 to have like a relegation team to pull off a win that we've decided is going to happen, but no.
Yeah.
All teams towards the top, all chasing promotion, as you said, playing against mid-table or lower.
Yeah, definitely.
Exciting
Indeed. Less exciting, fantasy football.
Yikes! Honestly, the
to be fair,
worst part of the show.
I've broken into the top 100
Respect.
now,
I'm actually
which
pretty
I'm
impressed.
delighted about.
You should be.
Yeah. I got 52 points this week.
That's good.
You got
20.
Can I ask?
20.
20.
20. Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
not
We won't dwell on that.
Not the best.
So we'll go through the top 10. Obviously, with no Premier League, this will be the last fantasy football section we do on the pod for a couple of weeks, which I'm sure you'll be pleased about. So yeah, in 10th place we've got Alpha M9K. Then 9th, David Doherty. Then Charlie Donnelly, Caspars Graver, Sam Barnard, Chris Hindle, Oliver Hogben, Luke Stevens, David Brown, and still top is Chantel Crookshanks with Haven't Jot a Clue. She's on 1,482 points. To be fair, mate, she only got 23 points. So
well, there you go.
If that makes you feel better.
So basically, I'm just as good as top of the table, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just a bit off and about 251 places, I think. But yeah, if you do want to join our league, there is plenty of time to do so still. And if you've got a team with the official Fantasy Premier League website app, then you'll join at your rightful spot. So you won't just be at the bottom. So you can tweet us for the league code, T_FB podcast. Please also give us a follow. You're missing out on Tuesday Twitter tips. You're missing out on a bit of discussion, couple of memes, couple of just general posts that people seem to find interesting. So definitely join that and help us on road to 2K as we close in on 2,000 followers.
Yeah, that'd be really appreciated. And if you can take the time to leave a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcast, that'd also be really good. And of course, please do check out Matchbook. Take advantage of that £20 money back as cash offer. You don't have to put it on our bomb-proof treble. You can put it on whatever you want. Right? It doesn't even have to be on football. It can be on horse racing or whatever as well. So yeah, just check that out if you can. That'd be really appreciated.
Yeah, thank you guys. Enjoy the show and we'll speak soon.
Bye-bye.